Hi, I'm Kathy Brooks, the host of The Kathy Brooks Show. Come discover three pillars: spirit, soul, and body.
Kathy Brooks Show starts now.
So good to see you all back. Well, I'm back too. And the week goes by so quick, and it's showtime again. All right. So I wanted to welcome everybody back and welcome everybody, any new viewers that we have. My name is Kathy. I'm the host. And today we are going to do something a little different. For the first time, I have a guest who is also going to be my co-host for today. So, and we're going to have a little fun today. So without holding up anything, his name is Q. Welcome, Q. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kathy. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I meant to say Quincy. I keep saying Q because
it's fine. It's fine.
So,
I respond to either.
All right. So I'm glad to have you on today. And I just want to go ahead and get started. I advertise it kind of like a relationship show, and we just going to talk about different things. One of the things, I don't know if my videos, I had a few videos that I sent out. I don't know if they came across. Let me check. But anyway, so tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you're the host of Talk2Q, which is I'll let you tell them.
Okay. Well, first, again, thanks for having me on. Talk2Q is it's a show that we record live. And I say we, even though I'm kind of a one-man show, this show is about the people I bring on. I have a roundtable discussion, and I bring on just random people. We form a round table. I throw out the questions. They respond with their opinions. And so we discuss relationships mainly, but we also get into current events, politics, and more. But the show was started back in 2011 because I just had some things to get off my chest. And for the first 10 episodes, it was really just about me. And it was called the Thank You Show. But as time progressed and I started having people call in, because this was something, I had a toll-free number. It was strictly audio. There was a call-in line and everything. People would call in, and I was so fascinated by their opinions, I started to make the show more about them. And so I decided that I would name the show Talk2Q rather than people just listening to Q. And it took off from there. And something I thought would only be, 10, 15 episodes turned into over 1,000 episodes.
Wow.
And so it's been over a decade, and I've been enjoying it. And I have people come on and they can talk unfiltered, discuss whatever they want. And the tagline of the show is no experts, just opinions. It just gives the people who are watching a chance to hear people discuss things from different perspectives.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Wow, that seemed like that could get a little, does it ever get a little rowdy?
It has.
Heated?
It has. One show last year, I actually had to take a break and mute everybody and pour a glass of alcohol to kind of get relaxed. It got intense.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it can get intense, but I try to make sure that everyone is respectful of one another, no name calling or anything like that. And ultimately, even if you don't agree with someone, you can still learn from their opinion, even if it's nothing but learning the fact that there are people out there who think a certain way.
True. That's good. Well, like I said, I'm doing something a little different this time. I wanted to do, and let me say this, Stunner Radio. Kathy Brooks Show is an umbrella underneath Stunner Radio. There's other shows, and we also have Stunner Magazine. And this month we are celebrating all our Black men. So, and I'm happy that you're joining us because I don't have too many men on the show, and in collaboration with Stunner Magazine, welcome. I'm happy to have you. And I love to get men's opinion. A lot of times we talk about issues. I bring in my opinion. Usually have a female guest. And I'm happy to get a male perspective on, just not just relationship, but, life, different things, current events, and the like. So, with that being said, I don't know if, I had a video to play, but I don't know if you have it or not. But uh, let me bring up my notes since I don't have that in front of me. Um, did you have? Hold on a second. Here we go. I did. Oh shit! Hold on. Oh, here we go. Okay, I did have. Let me see if I can get it right quick. Well, let me just talk it out. I don't have a video to show you, but let me just talk it out.
Okay.
I came across this video and it really, really confused me. It was about a woman who identified as masculine, and then a guy who identified as feminine, and they came together. Now they're a couple, but in the relationship, he is more of the female and she is more of the male. And I'm confused. I'm just really, it just took me for a loop, that one. So I was wondering, have you ever thought about something like that? How does that relationship going to play out? It's the roles are reversed. The man is the woman and the woman is the man, because they ascribe for a different person. It confused me.
Yeah, things are so different these days, and I try to be open minded. And there's some things that I just don't necessarily understand, um, and so I mean, I like to learn whenever I can, but I guess it's a situation where maybe they're attracted to a certain energy or a certain persona that someone puts off. Because in your typical heterosexual relationship, I've heard women say that they're attracted to certain qualities of a man when he offers security or protection or
Yeah.
something of that nature. So maybe since this man identifies as a woman and this woman identifies as a man, they are attracted to each other's feminine and masculine energy, even though they're coming from different places, so to speak. So, I mean, that's just my uneducated guess, so to speak. But you
Well,
know,
yeah. Um, I'm kind of glad I don't have the video in the one sense, because it's something that you can't unsee. But yeah, you're right. They may be attracted to those energies within each other, but I still was really confused with it because, anyway, um, I may have to come back to that one, because every time I talk about it, it just leaves me speechless. I don't know what to say. I really don't. I don't know what to say with that one. But let's get into some relationship talk. One of the things, as this dating scene and all of that, a lot of women, what's the thing that people say? Men want a good woman, but to me, that's relative. Depends on the man what a good woman is and
true.
how they ascribe those characteristics. So I think the best thing is for sometime women to be who they authentically are, and like that energy is going to attract. I don't think it's for us to say. I mean, you'll say you're a good woman, yeah, because you've ascribed certain characteristics to yourself, but that don't necessarily mean that the God thinks you are. So, hang on a second.
I agree with you. I'm sorry, I don't know if you were finished or not,
Go
but
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I agree with you 100% that um, what one person considers good, another one may not, because we all value things differently. And there are too many people trying to be something that they're not. And that's probably the reason why they can't seem to find happiness. And so if you decide to be yourself, then whoever's for you will at some point present themselves to you. And I think that's kind of something I fell into. Like I'm married now,
Hmm.
but when I was single, and I was really confused on, okay, I'm trying to do the right thing here. Why can't I find what I'm looking for, so to speak? And instead of trying to find what I was consider a good woman, so to speak, I tried to find someone who was good for me.
Hmm.
And that's what made the difference. When I found someone who fit what I'm looking for in my life, then at that point I was able to build on something and turn that into a marriage, so to speak. So I think that's what a lot of people need to do. I see so many women who they want to, spend a lot of money on the makeup artist, or they want to get the cosmetic surgeries and all of that to be something that they're not. And then they wonder why they keep attracting the same type of guy. Well, you're attracting someone who's not good for you,
Huh.
And so I don't get it, but it's just hard to just get people to see that they have some insecurities within themselves that they need to fix in order to try to find a healthy relationship.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. And a lot of things we always run out. We sometimes women we want to dress up the outside, which is good.
Hmm.
Men uh, they see they're attracted by what they see initially, but sometimes that could be a turnoff. I don't know. If you just got too much going on, they may think you put you in a category of high maintenance. Like all that stuff, that's just too much. So they may be attracted for initially, but if it's somebody that they're looking to have a long-term, lifelong relationship with, those things may not be on their top priority. And so I always say, be who you are. Of course, dress yourself up. Of course, look your
Right.
best. But I don't think it's necessary to add too much, over the top nails, over the top makeup, over the top all that stuff. I don't think it's necessary. But if that's who you are and that's what you like, that's one thing. And you attract someone and they get to know who you are, they'll fall in love with the person that you are. But sometimes it takes more because they got to dig under some other stuff that you already got on the outside. But that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a really good point that you made about who is the right person for you, not just that you good.
Yeah. And another part of the problem is some people try to select a mate based on who they think others will like. Well, my friends think this person, like as guys, you want to impress your buddies, or they're gonna
Um,
like her, or as a woman, are my friends going to like him? And they're not focused on themselves.
hmm,
And so people are looking for relationships for all the wrong reasons. If you start trying to focus on what's good for you and just cancel out the outside noise, you'd be surprised at the success one can have.
wow, that's a good point because you got to be the one to live with the person. Whether or not your friends like them, it's good if they do, but sometimes even when they don't like them, you still go with them anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I've
that's
heard
what
some
you
people
want.
say they didn't date this person. Oh, well, he's lame. So my friends thought he was lame. Or there's
Oh
some
yeah,
guys who are like, well, my homies didn't think her booty was big enough, or stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
you'd be surprised at the ridiculous reasons people, well, gloss over a potential relationship.
Right. And I say that sometimes you get the things that you want may be there, but they may not be in the package you think it's going to come in. So you dismiss it and you miss out on the best thing that could have been part of your life. But we have to be careful with that. Um,
Hmm.
so careful with that. So I know, okay, you married, so the dating scene, you don't get, you're not into that. But on
Thank
your
goodness.
show, do you come across a lot of craziness going on in the dating scene?
I do. I do. Some of the people on my show are genuinely nice people. and some of them have a lot going for them, and then there are some others who have no idea what they're doing in the dating world, and it's because their perspective is all twisted. It's so much of a focus now on, as like for women, there's a focus on, well, what can he do for me? And then as a guy, is a focus on how can I get what I want with very little effort. And so when you have those two dynamics out there with so many people, you run into problems. But people just don't have the perspective of, okay, how can I find someone who I can build something with? We can have something together. We have the same values, which is very important. Someone that I actually like. You can love someone, but you don't like them. And so, liking someone is important. So it's just so many things where people need to direct their focus that they're not doing it. And I mean, it's mainly because of social media. Social media is that place where one idiot can post something stupid and there'll be 1,000 idiots to support them.
That's true. And then it's like a pool. You don't have to be a one-on-one. You could be one-to-many relationship. It don't have to be you just picking it, and it's a numbers game, I guess, basically you say. So the more numbers you get, the more chance you have of getting it right. There's been some good stories, a few that I've heard, but and there's been some terrible stories going about dating and these new like, I guess ghosting is the new breakup, and even it's you can't say breakup because it was never anything there. It was just a minute of lusting, and then ghosting kind of goes with the cancellation thing in my mind,
Yes.
If I'm not feeling it, I just don't have to respond and I can move on. And you don't take the responsibility of having to answer why. You don't have to. You just move on.
Yeah. And it's a lack of respect. People just lack so much. Everyone's quick to say, I've been disrespected, but they don't apply that to others. And
That's
why
true.
would you just ghost someone, not contact them, just not give them any type of reason whatsoever of why you have no interest in them? I mean, that is just one of the most disrespectful things you can do. And I mean, it's one thing if someone's stalking you. That's totally different. I'm not talking about that situation where someone's crazy. I'm talking about just the average relationship. Why someone would do a person like that. And it's a lot of guys who do that to women and they see nothing wrong with it. And it's terrible.
Yeah. Women do it too. It's guilty on both sides. It's just an easy out. To me, that it's an easy way out. I don't have to worry about it. I can go on. I can move on to something else. Let me bring up this scenario I came across just the other day. I got roped into this conversation. I wasn't even trying to be involved, but somebody wanted to give me, like, what do you think about it? TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep Podcast. All right. Thank you for listening in.
TK's out of Texas. Shout out to TK.
All right. I'm in Texas. All right. All right, TK. So here's the scenario. The young man was talking to, it was a group of them, like 2 guys and 3 girls. The girls was just, they had him hemmed up in the corner. I'm like, what's going on over there? What y'all doing? They just, wow, you should be this is so disrespectful. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what are y'all doing? And he was like, let me tell you the situation. See, I got this tattoo on my arm, and it's my ex-girlfriend. We got this tattoo together, and at the time, we was all into each other, but we broke up. And so one of the other girls that I talked to asked me about it, and I told her about it, and she was like, you should have that removed because I can't be with you if you got that tattoo on you. And I said, this is what I said. I say, first of all, he said that he didn't have any regrets about doing the tattoo. He was sober minded at the time, so it wasn't like they just did it on a whim. They was in a long-term relationship. So I told him, I said, number one, it is your body. You've already made the decision to do it. Secondly, if you're not in that relationship with that person anymore, y'all don't have any ties to each other. So if somebody asks you about it or wants you to remove it, it's your decision on how you want to respond to them or not. Queen Cole, good evening. Hi, thanks for tuning in. So, and I told him, get it covered when we are married. She said, get it covered when we are married. So, yeah. I told him that if the girl got a problem with it and she just talking out the side of her head, then maybe she's not the one for you. If it's somebody who you're really genuinely interested in, you'll be willing to get it covered up. And you're not going to ask her to pay for it. You should pay for it. It's your responsibility. And so he was like, yeah, I feel that. But the girls would not. They was all over him. I was like, y'all need to, tell me you still, that mean that's disrespectful. That mean you still got ties with her. It's like, that's not true. And one of the girls, she, she's got a baby daddy. I was like, well, you can't get rid of your baby daddy like that. There's going to be certain things in your life that's going to stick. And the baby daddy is going to be there. That's a lifetime relationship.
Yes, I think that's the best point you could have made right there. Not only do you have a reminder of your ex, you have a reminder that looks like your ex. I mean, this is just a tattoo. I have a walking, half part of your ex going through my house. So yeah, I understand that completely. I'm not a tattoo guy personally, but for those who get it, I will say this, as someone who believes in marriage, and I know that everyone doesn't, but as someone who believes in marriage, I don't know why you would commit to having something permanently put on your body and you're not married to that person. So I totally don't understand that. But I know for some guys, because we've had a discussion like this on my show before, and it's an ego thing. To a guy, it bothers their ego to have another man's name on his woman's body, so to speak. But again, it doesn't have an impact on the relationship whatsoever. That's just, again, that's personal, that you feel that way. And so, yeah, if the guy chooses to get it removed, then so be it, or cover it up, or whatever they do, then so be it. But she should not base whether they date on something as trivial as that, to me. I mean, if she wants to leave him alone because of that, then he dodged a bullet.
Well, yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm not a big tattoo person either, but people do. If they make the decision, they got to live with it. That's their body. They do whatever they want to do with it. But I told him, I said, if there's somebody who is coming into your life and you're having a significant relationship with them, and they ask you about it, you got to be willing to address it. People got to stop trying to be so entitled right out the gate. Yeah, that's true. Like, and I asked him, I said, well, how would you feel if the lady that you want to talk to has a tattoo on her? I don't get people putting names like, are you going to forget that person's name? Queen Cole is funny.
Yeah, she's on fire tonight.
Yeah, putting their names or putting their faces, because faces do change, but and I told him, I said, that's something you're gonna need to think about. What kind of conversation you gonna have, and is that a problem for you? And he said he good with it. So if he can deal with it, I said, don't let all these people get in your ear and try to get you hemmed up because you have something. If you're not in a relationship with them, then it's no big deal. Why have an argument about it?
I wonder where the tattoo was. Did you mention where it was?
It's on his arm, on his forearm.
Okay, so people can see it.
Yeah, so it's visible. It's visible. Okay. Yeah, and it's not small. It's big.
Yeah, and that might be a big problem for her. If it was somewhere where no one could see it, it might not be that big of a deal. But since it's out and about and people may ask questions, maybe she feels embarrassed by that. I mean, women have egos too. So,
Oh yeah, they have egos. So they went even further to say he was branded. I was like, okay.
mm,
But like I said, it's his choice. He did it, and he said he doesn't have any regrets. So I said, you an adult. You live with the decisions you make. And
yeah,
if you want to talk about it, you talk about it. If you don't, move on to the next person, because that ain't the person for you.
exactly.
So like I said, I'm not a tattoo person, but to each his own. Um, there was another one. Don't let them friends talk you out of a good man. Yeah, because he was a pretty nice guy. He was pretty cool. But them ladies, I'm gonna go see everywhere eventually get air covered. Yeah, they gonna get it covered up when they get ready to. Thank you, Queen Cole. You on fire tonight.
And
Like,
she is. She is. She's out of South Carolina. She's representing.
all right, South Carolina. All right. Bring it on. All right. So here's a couple of other things that I came across. Um, let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. This one is interesting. Like I said, I had the slides and video, but I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, here's one. Guy and girl, they were friends, just like buddy friends or whatever. But the relationship went south. I don't know what happened. They didn't say what happened in the relationship, but this is the issue. She is a plus size model, and he says that she needs to stop getting all the makeup and all the stuff just to cover up the fact that she's plus size, and go to the gym and lose some weight.
Mm.
And I guess she wasn't happy about that. So they are no longer friends, but he's like a troll on social media for her. Anything she posts, he got something to say. So here's my opinion on that. Number one, I'm not I'm an advocate of health. As long as you're healthy, there's a difference between being healthy and fit. Okay. So healthy means, everything is working as it should be. Your numbers, everything's good and all of that. When you fit, you could, do a lot of activities and climb the stairs and do all that other stuff. So if she's fit and healthy and, the doctors are okay and she likes the size she is and she looks good in her clothes, I think that's phenomenal. But for him to just put it down like that is pretty bad. I didn't like the approach that he was taking with that. That could have been a conversation they had personally. It didn't have to go on social media. I mean, why people use social media to be their therapy session?
I don't know. And for him to do that, I question his authenticity of being her friend, because, like you said, that's something that should have been private. And we, especially in the Black community, we promote over being overweight, so to speak. Like it's like we try to treat it as if it's really nothing wrong with it. I'm a big guy myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But it's kind of like you said, some people can carry the weight and they're in great shape. And, they're not on any medicine, their blood pressure is good. But a lot of us may have some type of health complications. And so we shouldn't be quick to be offended when someone is trying to make a suggestion that could be good for us. But by the same token, it's all about delivery. And if you are a friend and you're concerned about someone's health, then that's a one-on-one conversation. That is not for the social media streets. And so I don't think he was probably a real friend. Maybe he was jealous of the attention she was getting. Maybe he was trying to bring her down a peg because he actually likes her and he doesn't like her confidence. It can be a number of things, but some discussions are just meant to be one-on-one.
That's true. That's true. You're right about that. Uh, we don't know his real motives behind that, and it wasn't revealed exactly what was the big division. Maybe maybe they were friends and they tried to have a relationship, and then it went south and they just salty towards each other. I don't know, but like you said, in the Black community, big is it's okay, it's acceptable. However, there is we gotta check ourselves and make sure we right. Let's go look at a picture of him. Is he looking like the
The
Mucinex
Mucinex man. Oh my
the
goodness.
Mucinex man?
Okay, Queen, I'm gonna need you to put down your phone.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Queen, girl,
Oh, I'm in tears.
we need you. Let me stop. No, no, no. If it need to be said, this is where you need to say it. So
And
just go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We all need to take a look at ourselves. You're right. We shouldn't be offended if we know something is wrong. We the first person to look at ourselves every day. So we
yeah,
ought to know what's
yeah.
up.
And I'm never going to be one to criticize anyone or anything like that. And I definitely need to lose weight myself. But I mean, you have to be realistic about it. Like, I mean, we have people who promote things like for example, Lizzo. Everyone wants to talk about Lizzo.
Hmm.
And Lizzo, I don't know if you've ever seen her perform at like these award shows or concerts or anything. She performs. Okay,
Yeah.
she's doing cardio, calisthenics, aerobics all over that stage.
Yep.
So, so even though she may be overweight, she's in great shape. And so
I
I,
agree.
I have no type of criticism for her whatsoever. However, there are people who see her and they say, oh, well, it's okay for me to be overweight and you may not be in good shape and you have to be concerned about your health. And so I just think people just need to be realistic about everything. Look at yourself and, do what's best for you. And if you carry the weight well, then that's great. All right. I like meat on my bones myself, when I look at women. I'm not necessarily into small women, but
Yeah.
just be mindful of your health because we want everyone to be here as long as possible.
Nobody is perfect. That is correct. No physical body is perfect either. Whether it look like, you got all the abs or whatever. And to your point, Lizzo has a special, I think it's on Netflix or whatever, where she's trying to find dancers.
Hmm.
And they do the work. Because to be able to dance on a stage for 2 hours nonstop, and then in the middle of it, you stop and you play the flute. You can't be out of breath. I mean,
No.
so there's a level of fitness that she has attained, even though she's still uh so she's fit and healthy. So that's a good example, being fit and healthy, because you can't do all that if you're not fit. You can't do it. You'd be like, let's take a commercial break. Let me come back. Because it's a lot to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Shoot, I give it up to her. That's good. So I was gonna say something, but I can't even remember what I was gonna say. Um, yeah, so it goes back to being fit and healthy. It's
Hmm.
two separate things. So, yep.
It is.
Um,
I applaud her because if I had to run around this room right now and get back on this podcast, you're gonna hear me breathing.
I had to climb 3 flights of steps. I sit outside, be looking like, dang, I don't feel like it. But
Mhm.
it's a journey. It's a journey, and we have to make up our minds what we're gonna do. And it's a
Yes.
lot of people. I remember years ago, there was this guy. He was a marathon runner. He did a lot of outdoor activities. You would say he was healthy because he was slim, fit on the outside, but he had a heart attack and some other issues was wrong with him. So some things are hereditary, and you may have some issues that you got to work out. Just because you're smaller does not necessarily mean you are fit and healthy. Um, so let's debunk that myth right there. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then if you are someone who wants to encourage a person to lose weight or to get in shape or something, then just have a plan when you approach them with that. Don't do it on social media. Talk to them in person and have a plan, because it's all about delivery. If you want it to be received, then you have to make sure you deliver the message the way that the person can receive it.
You're right. Right. Delivery is everything. It
Mm-hmm.
is everything. And even when you take the time, you think about it, and you have a nice delivery, and you talk to the person, whatever, the person still has to be ready. They have to be ready. They probably know what you're saying. You're factual. They believe what you're saying. They on board with it, but they just ain't ready. They ain't ready. Some
Yeah,
stuff they ain't
yeah,
ready to let go.
yeah. Because it's hard. It's hard. Everyone who is overweight wants to be smaller for the most part, but it's easier said than done. So when it's something that difficult, something that people have struggled with throughout their life, maybe it's hereditary, that makes it even more difficult, then you have to be mindful of that when you approach them, that they have some obstacles or barriers that they can't get past, and that may frustrate them, and to the point to where your message is not received very well.
Yep. Yep. And not to just ride this horse and stay on it forever, but weight is one thing, but there are other issues people have that are not seen. You can see somebody when they gain weight, but there's a whole lot of other vices that people have. So same thing. You gotta check yourself and get ready to move on to something else. Okay, let me see. Um, what else did I have? Kind of throwing me off. I don't have my video stuff, but that's okay. That's just how it is when it's live. You never know how it's gonna go. uh, all right. So we talked about that.
Well, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about, I guess, the clash between the older generation and the younger generation? As far as, do you think that older people are competing with younger people in the dating field? Like, are guys in their 40s competing with guys in their early 30s, or are the younger women competing with the older women to try to find that sugar daddy or whatever? I mean, do you think there's a competition between the generations when it comes to the dating field?
Um, I want to say it is. I'm not an expert, definitely in the dating area at all. However, I can speak to it in not just in the dating scene, and just some other issues. Like if you working, if you in a boardroom or something, there's a dynamic there with older and younger generations, because I think it's two things. One is that some people that are older are not necessarily wiser or mature. They just have a number in age. They're not necessarily mature. The other thing is, and I think that's what's causing the clash, because you got someone that's older that's saying, I'm still hot, I still got it, so I'm gonna try to get with this young person.
Hmm.
For ages, we've seen older men getting with younger women. So I mean, that's nothing new. However, you got these young girls trying to get with them sugar daddies that quote older men. And yes, there is a push and pull on that. But if you're a person of quality, or standards, or substance, you're not necessarily wanting to compete with that, unless you have a preference for somebody young, you know. And a lot of young men may say, I want to get with an older person because they want to okay, let's see. TK's Chronicles. People do the most on social media. Yes, they do the most.
Hmm.
I mean, now it's social media is it's what we do everything. We tell everything, we do everything, and all that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, there is a competition that exists. It doesn't have to, but it's there. It's there for sure.
I think it's a shame. I'm a 70s baby. Okay. I was
Mm-hmm.
born in the 70s. And my generation, in my personal opinion, is the first generation to not embrace getting older. We want to stay young. And so you come across a lot of people who maybe are in their 40s who are doing things that some people do in their 20s. I know plenty of people in their 40s who are getting their first tattoo, or people in their 40s who decide, well, I do want to date that 20 something because to see if I still got it, so to speak. But I guess, like you said, it's always happened. But I think the problem is now is that we don't want to teach the younger generation because we're too busy competing with them. And so the younger generation grows up confused and not knowing how to handle relationships because we haven't bothered to share how our parents, navigated relationships back during their time. And
True.
so I think that the competition has stunted the growth of younger generations when it comes to relationships and friendships for that matter.
That's a good point. Very good point. I wanted to acknowledge TK's comment when he was talking about when we had to eat all of our food. But you're right. You're right. It is growing older has its privileges, and one of the privileges is as you grow older, you're supposed to learn, and you're supposed to be a help to the generation behind you. So if that's not being done, then we're causing there to be a gap, and the young people have to try to figure it out on their own. It's not necessary. I don't think it's necessary to always have to have an experience when somebody before you had the experience, and they can teach you and tell you, okay, don't step in there. There's a puddle right there. It's gonna mess up your pants. It's gonna do this to you. And I would say, thanks. I'm not gonna step in there. I'll go this way. But if there's no guidance, people are making mistakes that they don't have to make.
Absolutely.
And like you said, I embrace getting older. I didn't at first, but I embrace it because I think there are some things that I can teach the young people. And I mean, I may not be an expert in certain areas, but I know that that dynamic is there, that competition is there, and we don't have to compete. We don't. I saw this video. It wasn't a video. It was some kind of clip or something. There was an older woman. I think she was like in her late 60s. And somebody had addressed her by saying, you don't need to be wearing that. She had on a little tight dress, some high heels. Nothing wrong with a tight dress. There's nothing wrong with a short dress. There's nothing wrong with high heels. But it was the way she was wearing it. And she had a problem because, number one, she didn't need nobody addressing her like that because she old enough to wear what she want to wear. Number two, just because she look good in it don't mean you supposed to be coming to. She didn't like it. She didn't like it. But the problem I had with it was, number one, people gonna wear what they want to wear. And if you have a problem with it, there's, like you say, delivery is everything. There's a way to talk to her about it. But this woman is grown. I mean, I would put her in the category of competing with young people. Because if a young lady came out and she had something real tight, small, and skinny, and was out on the dance floor, this sister would get on the dance floor right next to her to show her she still got it. And she would drop it like it was hot too.
Yeah, and that's what we're dealing with these days. We have mothers and daughters who shop in the same place for clothes. They go to the same nightclub. We have, fathers and sons going after the same women, and it's a mess. It's a dog eat dog world, and it shouldn't be. You should be teaching younger people.
Actually, some of that is because some people had children very young, and they were growing up themselves. So now they feel like I didn't get to do it. I'm gonna go out and do it. Unfortunately, they out there doing it with their own child. That's not, to me. I don't want to be in the same places, in the same clubs. I don't club, but I don't want to be out there with my child. And I'm not that kind of person anyway. I'm not the kind of person that will be out clubbing or whatever, even if I went to a bar and just had a drink or something, there's a way to show that you still have it without actually trying to show somebody up in that manner. There's other ways to do things. So I think that could be also part of the problem, that the approach, the delivery of showing somebody, hey, you still got it or I still got it. It ain't about necessarily being side by side with them doing some kind of competition.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it, it's going to show. It's going to show. Like,
Right.
for example, everyone, for the most part, is a huge fan of Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Michelle Obama can just walk into a room and her presence says it all. Okay. Now, to me, that's what people should strive for. Okay. Let your presence do the talking. Don't let it be your outfit or anything like that. Just because they make some in your size doesn't mean you got to buy it. You know, let your presence do the talking. Let that separate you from everyone else rather than trying to blend in with everyone else. That's what I don't understand for the life of me. Like when I was younger, I was never a name brand type of guy. It didn't mean I didn't wear nice clothes, but I was never a name brand type of guy. I didn't have to have, never owned a pair of Jordans. I didn't have to have this certain, Ralph Lauren or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because I would go to a nightclub back in my 20s and everyone looked the same. It's like a family reunion in there. All the guys wearing the same shirt, same shoes. And I'm like, okay, what's the point? How can you stand out as an individual when you look like every single person in the room? So I don't understand the desire for people to try to look like others. So whether it's guys buying the Jordans or women wearing the 6-inch eyelashes that look like butterflies or whatever it may be, everyone is a clone. And because of that, there's no individuality. And then they don't understand why they can't keep someone's attention.
Wow, you said a lot. You said a mouthful right there. And identity crisis, that's what it sounds like to me. There's an identity crisis. And when you know who you are and you like what you like, you're going to be who you are. And you're right. We're not supposed to be cookie cutters of each other. We're all supposed to be different. But if there's a particular style, a particular brand that's popular and people want to be popular, they think wearing that is going to make them popular. But that is not true. That is not true. And you could be the richest person out there. That doesn't give you style and it doesn't give you class. Just putting stuff on don't make you classy. It doesn't make you stylish. And the example you said about Michelle Obama, it's when she comes in, it's her presence that comes. And that's the thing. It's not particularly what she have on. You do notice it, but it's not that. She can wear a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Yeah. About her presence. And you're right. That is what's
and I don't want to knock people who buy Jordans or anything. I'm not saying you're a bad person by any means. I'm just saying I've never had a desire to stand in line to give Foot Locker $300 to look like the dude behind me in line. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, well, everybody, have their thing. Some people is jewelry, clothes, whatever. But the point I think that we're trying to make here is that none of those things is going to make you as a person. All of those things, just like makeup for women, are for enhancements. It enhances who you already are. So if you a terrible person, is not going to do nothing but cover up that, and you start talking and it's going to come out. It's going to come out. So we can't use those things to cover ourselves. But that's a great point that you made, though. Let's see. What else did I have? We just, having a little chit chat here. It's very informal. One thing I wanted to ask you real quick. This is about relationship, and women have egos and men have egos. What is your take on if there's a relationship and I've heard this. This is barbershop talk. A guy married his wife, but they had a deal that it would always be 50-50. Okay? Half the bills, you pay this, I pay this, it's 50-50. So throughout the marriage, it was that way. And then comes the children. And it couldn't be 50-50 anymore because it was too much for her. She needed to like take maternity leave, take a break. So her income was not there. So he's ready. He's like, I can't do this by myself. I need your help. So you either have to come back to work or we done. I have an opinion about it. What do you think about it?
My opinion would be to him is get a job, get another job. You know, even though you may have a certain arrangement when the marriage start, we all know things happen. Someone can get sick, someone can have a kid, someone could get laid off from work. I mean, there are a number of things that can happen. And part of being a marriage is being part of a team.
Mm-hmm.
When one goes down, the other one takes up the slack, you know, until that person can get back on their feet. And if kids are an issue, I mean, kids are a full-time job themselves. So
Sure.
if kids are an issue that's in fact impacting your bottom line, then the person who is not at home with the kids or spending the most time with the kids, whoever that may be, if you know, traditionally it's the woman, but these days, you know, people do what they have to do because you
Right.
gotta have a two house income, a 2 income house. But then that other person should take up the slack
I
and do
agree.
what you can.
This is what I think about it. I believe in the traditional role of a man and a woman, you know, where the man is the provider. Number one, I wouldn't have never agreed to that relationship in the first place because 50-50 ain't gonna fly. That's just kind of like you want to be in a relationship. I'm half a person, you half a person. Together we make a whole. I don't agree with that. I think you should be a whole individual coming together, two whole people coming together. But yeah, he should get a job and hustle and do whatever it takes to provide for his family and not put that much pressure on the woman. Or if the woman was the one working and the man was the one taking care of the kids, you got to be willing to adjust because like you say, in the beginning of the marriage, it may be one way, but as you progress and things change, you go through phases in your life, children phase, all kinds of phases. So you have to be willing to adjust. You can't be hard-nosed to say never, never, never. So I think there was a level of immaturity in him doing that and to air it out like that. But
Absolutely, because you have to me, I'm an old school man, so I believe in the traditional way of things. All right, and I know that's not for everybody, but I'm talking about me.
mm-hmm.
And as a man, I feel like it's my job to take whatever the slack is. If I'm going to consider myself head of household, then I have to pick up that slack because if the house fails, then I fail. Okay, and so if it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm the provider, so to speak, then I got to do what I have to do. If that means getting out and hustle and getting a second job, or I mean, you can work from home so easily these days. You can get a work from home job where you can still be at home and still make money. I mean, there are a lot of opportunities, unique ways for people to pick up some of the slack, so to speak. And as rough as it is out here, I get it. People are tired. They're already, you know, worn down.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to your family, then you got to do what you have to do. Yeah. And I'm not going to have my wife out, you know, busting her behind trying to get a second job or something because I don't want to. No, absolutely not. I'm going to get out there and do what I have to do. And if I have to make some sacrifices, then so be it. But my family is going to be taken care of.
All right. Good. That was good. Well, the time it goes by pretty quick, but before we close it all out, and I want to appreciate you for coming, taking your time out. I know Sundays are usually pretty family time, and I know I'm taking away from that for you. And I appreciate you stopping by and just giving us your opinions. Thank you so much for that. And before we leave, tell everybody about your show, social media, and where to find you.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. I've had a blast, and I would love to have you on my show in the
Love
near
to.
future. And so, well, you can find me on my website at talk2q.com. You can you can Google hashtag talk2q, and I will pop up just about anywhere. Anywhere you find a podcast, you can find the show. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Just look for Talk2Q, and I'll be there. And I'm always open for people to give their feedback or even reach out if they want to join the show one day just to talk about whatever. I'm
Okay.
open to get show suggestions. I'm just an open book. So been doing this. I'm coming up on 12 years next year. And so I just, look forward to keep it going. And I appreciate everyone who takes a moment to just check it out.
Oh, cool. And congratulations. That is phenomenal.
Thank
That
you.
is phenomenal. This is not always the easiest thing to do. And being consistent and staying with it, that is phenomenal. So I congratulate you for as long as you've been doing it. That is so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. People used to say that I was podcasting before it was sexy.
Uh, yeah, you make it sexy, you make it easy. So for newcomers like me, it's an honor for you to be here with me today. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me. I'm honored. So, all right. With that being said, we're going to close out for the night. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all next week. Don't forget to check out the Stunner magazine, and to all my friends, I pray that you will prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. All right. See you guys next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.